Well, hello. Happy Monday. Here we are at Heroes and Hooligans for another Monday night full of shenanigans as we play season 2, episode 5 of Delirium. Into the frickin' mountains we go after going over the river and through the woods and grandma's house or whatever. Right? Hey, Don, did you know that goats have rectangular pupils?
I feel like I did, or I've seen it enough. It sounds familiar.
I just learned this and I thought of you because you like goats. But speaking of goats, who wants to do the recap for last week?
Is there a cricket sound effect?
Yeah.
If no one wants to, I can do it. I know Chip did last week.
Yeah, sure, go for it, Don.
So we were at the inn where we were supposed to meet someone. I believe it was called the Screaming Goat.
Yep.
I'm sure that's what made you think of it. And we kind of were sitting there. We talked to the bartender who told us that the person we needed to talk to for our Grey Warden mission was actually his brother and that he would be down in a bit. So we went and got a table. And we're kind of hanging out, just looking around. Fiora we noticed some interesting looking people over by the fire that we had some suspicions about. Fiora did some things and might have read the minds of them and confirmed that they were Inquisitors and warned the party. Arthur was not very happy about that, although I don't know that any of us were. Daruk snuck off on his own to go around a corner and cast a spell as the bartender's brother Bob came down and took us out into the alley to tell us about our mission. As we went out, Arthur went to get Daruk and noticed something in the Inquisitor's hands that was glowing. Daruk came out and also noticed the glowing thing. And stopped his spell and went and sat down. Arthur got him back. Bob told us about the...
Yeah, I think it was Loki.
Yeah, it was
Loki.
Loki.
It was Loki, not Arthur. You're right. I'm sorry.
Loki was our one man to
I'll take that credit.
Yeah. Bob told us that the Bone Trader had a hideout or a fortress up in the mountains in a cave, I believe. And that was where we should go. Was not super polite, kind of sassy, Bob was. Oh, by the way, Bob had an octopus for a face. Daruk and Loki saw the Inquisitors. Daruk asked the bartender to essentially send the Inquisitors on a wild goose chase for us. And shortly after the Inquisitors left, we decided, since they had seen us and some things had happened at this inn, we should go find a new one. So we went to another hotel that I don't have the name of. And I think that was where we essentially ended, was taking our short rest overnight, right?
Yep.
Celine, some things. Someone else might have heard some things during the night.
Arthur, I believe, heard it as well.
Yes, I think Celine and I heard a woman singing.
Yes, a very haunting song. Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty right. You ran from some Inquisitors, you got some information, and now you're off at a place to sleep so you could get up and head out on your mission in the morning. Arthur, I know you don't sleep, but at some point during the night, the wood of your eyelids just got heavy enough that maybe it was all the stress from the Inquisitors being in town, the long days of travel, you hadn't had a proper long rest yet.
Arthur also reads from his book at night, and weird shit tends to happen when he does that, so that could easily see that being a side effect.
Okay, yeah. So, Arthur, you were reading, you were up, you don't sleep, but at some point, your lids got heavy and they dropped just long enough for you to, when you come back to notice Celine is gone.
Okay. What time of day, night is it?
Close to sunrise.
Okay.
Probably 4:30 in the morning ish.
Okay. I would check the other room that we have as well. I'm assuming I don't find her there.
If you just peeking in, you're just peeking in, or are you waking everybody else up?
First, I would just peek in just to make sure she isn't there, and then I'm going
Nope.
to start
You just
banging.
you see Fiora on the bed, and you see Loki on the pull-out couch, and Daruk cuddled up next to Loki on the pull-out couch because Fiora kicked him out of the regular bed.
Okay.
Daruk won't fit on a pull-out couch, unfortunately. Daruk's just on the floor.
Yeah, you see Daruk on the floor, cashed out. But you do not.
You think he's a bearskin rug at first, just from the size and shape.
All right, then yeah, I guess I'm going to say that the cantrip Arthur takes today is prestidigitation, and he just makes his voice really loud, but still doesn't know what to say. And so super loud, reverberating through the room. You all just hear, get up. Celine's gone. Celine's missing. I would start going down, seeing if she's down in the main room or the lavatories, if there are. I don't know how that works.
It's kind of like a common bath on your floor where there's a couple of individual tubs and then one bigger like wooden tub, couple of like stalls where it looks like you could go in and change, and then the portholes dug out.
I wouldn't have even actually checked there. I think Arthur assumes that Celine doesn't bathe or poop.
Oh my God. I mean,
it's her business. I wouldn't have pried.
You know what? It is, but she's not in any of those rooms. And when you go downstairs, she's not down in like the commons or out on the patio either.
Then yeah, I would run back up and start shaking people. All right, get up. Celine's missing. We're missing somebody. I was reading and.
Did she say anything? Anything weird happened before she left?
No. I was reading my book. I was trying to see if I could get any new pages learned. I can't really read the whole thing yet, but I looked up and she was gone. God bless you.
Oh no, I was trying to stop myself from laughing uproariously on Mike. At the snowstorm.
So, seems like a problem. Feels like a big problem. I don't know if anyone else feels like this is a big problem. Inquisition's in town, missing a person who they would for sure feel weird about. What's the protocol? I'm searching my pocket.
Listen, lad. I'm gonna be honest with you. Her being gone at 4:30 isn't really that odd. Oh, sorry, Chip. Go ahead.
What'd you say, Chip?
Well, I'm still going to see if there is any protocol for missing people.
Oh, protocol for missing people?
Do we have a handbook or something?
I mean, you got your manual, your little welcome to the warden's book or whatever.
I picture like a Fallout style kind of welcome packet, but that's just me.
Yeah, sure.
So what, you don't think this is a big deal? You think is this normal, par for the course for her?
I mean, kind of.
There was something else, actually. She heard it more so than me, but she told me about it. There was like some woman was out there singing, and it was very spooky. I didn't really think anything of it. It was odd. But, I mean, you're asking about weird stuff. That was kind of weird. You think she would just go wandering out with Inquisitors here?
I mean, if she got thirsty enough.
I still don't know what to think of her.
Enchantment magic that can be laced through song.
That's true.
Can we check for that? Is there something we can do here? I don't. I know something for trying to find active magic, but I don't. I didn't catch that, Chip. Your sound's a little underwater. Does anyone know Harry
How
Dresden?
long ago was the woman seen?
That's a good question. I ask my Lord and Savior Morael, and how long ago was the woman singing, Huli?
In the evening, probably like the late hours, like 3:00 in the morning ish.
It was probably like the late hours, like 3:00 in the morning ish. So a few hours ago.
If you guys want to go out looking, we can. But if you want my honest opinion, I say if she's not back by morning, we can be a little worried. At that point, she's probably in a local jail.
Fair. If you say it's fine, I mean, you know her the best. If you think it's fine, it's fine. I mean,
I definitely don't think we leave without her. We'll definitely, like I said, if she's not back by morning, but her being gone at 4:30 doesn't honestly strike me as someone who's been with her for a bit.
all right.
I'm going to be quite honest. I'm not convinced she hasn't just decided that now is a good time to desert.
Fair. I don't know. I expect to turn around and see her drinking children. She spooks me out. Do you think she would do it without Fiora?
Do you think she has great personal loyalty to you, Fiora?
I don't think it's great, but we've been together a while, and in the back of my mind, it's always possible she'll decide that she's better off somewhere else on her own, but I don't think that's where we're at right now. I think if she was going to leave, she at least would have told me or left something behind. We can check to see if there's a note or any sign. Is there anything in the room that looks out of place?
I assume I would have given it a once over before I left. Did I see anything out of place, Huli?
Nope. All Celine's stuff was still there. Nothing was disturbed. Just no Celine.
Her stuff was all still there.
Now, the one thing I will say is, I will say that there's a chance that she got drunk and decided to go pick a fight with a couple of people in town, especially some that she might know might be rather less than favorable toward her.
Okay.
So, there could be a reason to worry.
Well, whatever. She's an adult. If she wants to fuck around while the Inquisition's about, that's on her. We'll see what happens. What's the plan for today? Should we just go back to sleep for like 3 hours?
Oh, Daruk's already passed out again. As soon as
heading back to bed.
As soon as Fiora said this is common, Daruk went back to bed.
Tell you what, Arthur. Excuse me.
It's late. I know.
I'll take a look over in the room, and I'll go talk to whoever's downstairs and see if they've seen anyone in the size of shape of our missing friend.
All right.
Actually, I think Daruk lays back down on the floor for a minute. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were continuing. My bad.
You're good. You're good.
Daruk lays back down for the floor for a minute, then realizes, oh, there's 2 empty beds in the other room, and just goes to the now empty room and passes out across the 2 beds.
Oh. Well, Arthur, your party's entirely unbothered that Celine isn't.
I'm helping. I'm coming. Daruk might be asleep on any clues, but that's all right. I'll let me take a look over. Maybe some fresh eyes will help. Is there anything?
You guys weren't using the beds anyway.
That's all you.
I mean, was anything Fiora said wrong?
No, not at all.
Sounds right to me. I think Arthur's just spooked out given the events of the night before.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, there's a chance she went straight for them.
Well, yeah, I guess, I don't know. If Loki turns something up, I would want to know. But if not, Arthur is going to go into the room where Daruk's sleeping now and just start reading his book out loud again. I'm hoping Daruk's a heavy sleeper.
With a noir narration of Eldritch horrors from Arthur, I will examine the room.
All right, it's a investigation check, please.
You got it.
That dame could have walked out of any tavern in any city. Why'd she walk out of mine?
That'll be a
Smoking
22.
cigarettes.
We just became a Call of Cthulhu campaign.
It's that easy.
Legs like a
Oh.
Sunday morning and problems a mile long.
With your 22 investigation, Loki, you don't turn up any clues to where Celine went. Like I said, all of her stuff is still there. Just the only thing that's not there is the clothes she was wearing and, whatever weapons or whatever she keeps strapped to herself. All of her other stuff, her pack, her rations, all of that, her changes of clothes, everything is still here.
Arthur, all I found was this cat.
Oh
in
my!
corner
What
of
the
room.
fuck? Get that out of here! Whose cat is that?
Daruk hears cat, perks up. Mine.
I'm letting him go. I'm letting him go. All I know is that they're not naked. Now that I'm a bit more awake, let me go check out.
There's no nude Celine running around.
There's no. At least when they exited, there's no nudity involved. There may be now.
She should
But-
be leaving skin flakes or something that we should be able to track. She's
People will be our best source of information here. I'll
You're
check the barkeep.
probably right.
I'll check whoever's downstairs. And
I will
Loki-
tell you, Loki, one thing you notice is the window is cracked. Like it's ajar. They're like the pane windows that swing open. And one of them is slightly open, a crack. With that 22, I'll tell you that.
Better shut that. It's drafty.
Any of you opened the window last night?
Not me.
The LA Noir
Could
will show up.
be
Alright,
how the
tell-
kitty got
tell
in.
the truth. Could be how the cat got in. The cat doesn't have the. No, that cat doesn't have thumbs.
I did not check that cat for thumbs. We have no idea.
Daruk looks down at the cat.
You
No
gave it a
thumbs.
thumb. All right. Okay.
He's got no thumb. This guy ain't got a single thumb to spare.
The cat's
You
clean.
don't
for
know
now.
if that's a tiny tabaxi or not. You got no idea.
Little
That
cat,
could
do
be
you
Why
want
true.
would
to
they
For all
do
we
it?
know.
I can
I
give you
will-
thumbs.
I will blow a zone of truth on that cat. Don't-
You don't know if they're
Cool.
a cat
I'll-
burglar.
I'll ritual cast speak with animals.
All right, Daruk, you interrogate the cat. Arthur, you make sure this window doesn't get any more cracked than it already is. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
make conversation with people who are probably drunk or passed out from being drunk.
So Loki
Alright.
leaves cat team 6 behind in this hotel room.
Better there than in the bar.
I like the idea that Loki
Anywhere
just
else.
randomly spawns cats and doesn't know.
It's like a curse that's following
It's like
him.
keep fucking happening.
DM writes a campaign
I like
that
the idea
she thinks
that I like the idea that
players.
I like the
turn
idea
into a-
that finding a cat.
I like
Finding
the idea that it doesn't spawn cats; it just summons the same
I like the
cat.
idea
so
that
he
Loki-
leaves it here, and then 2 weeks later, it just shows up behind him in a different city.
We shaved it. It's the
Alright.
same cat. We know it's the same cat.
Yeah, I like that Loki found the
Loki-
cat and then was like, "Oh, this cat got in here somewhere." Looks at the window, sees it.
Loki and Daruk.
Oh, that window was open.
Roll me a flat D20, both of you. Roll me a flat D20.
Hi, Captain.
Cat check.
19.
Okay, what do you got, Loki?
12.
All right, so Daruk, we'll do you first. Loki, you'll be second. Okay. All right, Daruk. So you cast Speak with Animals on the cat.
On myself.
What
but
do you
yes.
say? Yeah, well, on yourself to speak with the cat. What do you say?
I have 2 very important questions for you, friend, and afterwards I will give you a treat.
The cat sits up on its hind 2 legs. You notice it's wearing boots, and it pulls a hat out of the belt that you didn't notice on it before, and it puts its hat on. You could have just asked in
Oh
common.
no! I'm the closest thing to an ogre in this world, and Puss in Boots is here.
Not Puss in Boots. What's the black cat that's friends with Puss in Boots?
Oh, Oh God, I know this. I just watched this movie with my kid the other day.
Anyways, the cat just kind of looks at you like,
Mittens,
I speak
mittens or something like that. Something with a
mittens.
pause.
There you go. Mittens. I speak common, you know.
Oh, was this window open when you came in?
No. Yes. I didn't open it.
All right. In that case, what is your intent in trespassing in our rooms?
Well, the bed looked comfortable and nobody was using it.
You owe me 5 silver for the rent of the room.
The cat flicks you a gold piece.
Cool. Our business is done. You may sleep on the side of the beds that I am not using.
It curls up right where it's at in a ball.
All right. Durek just lays down next to the cat. Goes back to
The
bed.
cat is right in the middle of the bed and leaves Daruk this much room to lay on his side.
Yep. Sounds good. Daruk sleeps in a bed with about 20 to 80 rats every night, so when he's at home. So
Why the variability there? That's a
big range.
large difference of rats.
on the
Sometimes
weekend, none of them have. On the weekends, none of them have to work.
Some of them have plans.
None of them have the night shift on the weekend.
How's that worse than the puppet boy and the dead girl? Just turn away to see you writhing in a just massive, tiny silhouettes in bed.
Oh, hell.
It's only when he's at home. It's only when he's at home.
They like interweave tails to form like a weak quilt.
There's like 4 rat kings on there. It's a rat court.
All right. So Daruk interrogates the cat. The cat's just like, bruv, I just want to sleep. And Loki heads downstairs. Loki, you head downstairs, and there's only just a couple people here in the tavern. There's a woman behind the counter. Looks like she got stuck with late night duty. And then you see 2 guardsmen. They're dressed as guardsmen sitting like by the fire, but they look half asleep. Both of them have like a half Drake mug of ale next to them. And then you see an older gentleman in the corner by the front window, sitting by himself, reading a newspaper, and he has a mug, but it's smaller. And the steam rising off of it indicates that it's not an ale.
Well, we'll circle the room. We'll start with the barkeep.
Okay.
Stroll on up. Excuse me. You wouldn't have happened to seen an individual fitting the exact descriptions of our dear friend Celine, who's gone missing, have you?
Of the exact description of a living dead girl. Well, I didn't start until about 4 o'clock this morning, and I didn't see her when I was here. So no, I'm sorry, I haven't.
No worries. Thank you. I don't want to talk to guardsmen. Mysterious older gentleman with a piping hot tea at 4:50 in the morning.
It's dirty bean water,
Ah.
not
Gross.
dirty leaf water.
I can't believe you pressed lima beans into a cup and then superheated it. Disgusting. I don't say that out loud, gentlemen.
Things that I, Chipper, am going to try now.
Oh God! Disgusting. Make sure you tell us how it is.
Oh, I'll make a video and put it. I'll make a video and put it up in our Discord.
Excuse me, sir. If I could
What
just
languages do you speak, Loki?
I speak Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, Elvish, and it can just decipher Thieves' Camp, but I will ask in Common.
Okay.
So
He replies-
very sadly, which common? Because we're in Atharis.
Yeah.
The common that would have been given to me at the beginning of the game. The common, I don't know, dude.
Most
The common of the
common
place where you
common.
start. It's like so Atharis is different. They have the different dialects of common, similar to like French, German, so on and so forth across Spanish.
In the day we've spent here, I would be covered either way, fortunately. Thanks to my where is it? I know I have this thing from my background, adept linguist, that as long as I spend a day interacting and observing humanoids talking to each other, I can learn enough words, expressions, and gestures to communicate on a rudimentary level.
Okay. He responds to you in Dwarven. So you
Oh,
speak that.
Oh,
and
thank
he
God.
says, "Good morning. What can I do for you?"
You wouldn't happen to have seen a dead person about yay tall, very intimidating, stronger than me, probably not too bright, potentially drunk, who may or may not have exited this building?
Well, that's a very interesting yet quite different description, but I happen to see lots of dead folks on a regular basis. Could you be a little more specific?
I refer to my own notes.
I was gonna say some shit like
Screen.
that as a joke. I am flabbergasted.
Upon I will use my descriptions that I've written in my notebook. I
Okay.
would describe them as angry, but also burdened, as if they carry a lifetime of sin upon their back. Easily a heavy drinker, easily identified as a heavy drinker. They woke up in a grave 15 years ago. I don't know what that does to the bags under the eyes, but you sound experienced in it. And you would associate them with, quote, numerous crimes. Yes. Those are the exact notes I have in my notebook.
That was oddly poetic.
I did see a woman like that. Does she have a white streak in her hair?
Does Celine have a white streak in there?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yes, I saw her come through here. She did look very burdened.
About how long ago was that?
Oh, let's see. I got here at about 3:30 after working the graveyard shift, but and it was shortly after.
Fantastic. Did you happen to see them go in any direction, or you could really only see them leaving from where you were?
I just saw her come downstairs and out through the door. I didn't pay attention much after that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate that.
What happened here tonight that this guy needed a clarifier to set this dead girl? You know how many dead girls I've seen tonight?
It sounds like they're a grave
I think he
digger
works
or
in
a
a
grave
yeah.
keeper.
But then shouldn't a walking dead person
Any
still
dead
be,
person
still be
not
a
in
good
a
enough
grave.
description?
All right. Remember the world we live in.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
We got Arthur walking around. with
Yeah,
us,
that's true.
all
This
right?
guy stepped
Celine's-
over 3 dead girls on the way to his table.
The majority of our party are
Celine's
individuals.
rare, but not necessarily unique.
It's fair.
Exactly. Like everyone in our party is like, oh, I've probably brushed shoulders with at least 4 or 5 of each of these types of people before.
Right.
Halfway through the conversation, you realize you're talking to a dead person.
The accident was.
I think the
15
only
years
one of
ago,
us
Loki.
who
The guy turns to
You
leave
have to
and
let
a
her
piece
go.
of his skull is just missing.
I think the handbook actually describes Celine's race and Daruk's as being about the same rarity.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I won't take any more of your time. Thank you so much. You have a lovely rest of your early morning, late night.
Thank you. And don't forget to pay your passage. And he goes back to reading.
Not ominous at all.
We need
I
to
think
kill
to
this
myself.
man.
Violence is not
I-
the answer. He's just someone who's very deathly affiliated. Affiliated, excuse me.
Maybe he's a grave clearer.
Maybe, who knows? I'm not going to find out. I'm going to go back to bed and tell Arthur that they saw her leave, and that's it. I got no more clues, and for all we know, they could be anywhere.
I don't know how many people heard that, but you saying that he turns to dust and the accident was 15 years ago, it's fucking killing me. It's taking every ounce of willpower to not riff off of that right now. But no, Arthur will just take your information and go back to his book. I guess Celine's all right. We'll see her when we see her.
Okay. So everybody goes back to bed. You did some investigating. You know Celine's not there. Fiora has said, well, I'm not surprised, so on. So you do that. Loki, you go back to sleep. Fiora's asleep. Daruk's asleep. Arthur, you go back to doing whatever it is that Arthur does when everybody else is sleeping. Go back to reading. And
can I make a disadvantage perception check to hear Arthur's weird ritualistic chanting of his book?
You're gonna hear it. Like, there's no.
yeah, you can.
I've already established Daruk. I've already established that Daruk snores like an elephant.
There would be parts that
And
Arthur
a
is
heavy
actively
sleeper, so
trying to
I wanna-
keep under his breath.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Daruk. At disadvantage, you could roll a perception.
Hell yeah. Disadvantage. Roll. 10.
I would say while you're sleeping, you probably really don't hear too much with a 10.
Yeah. That tracks.
So you go back to sleep. Everybody's asleep. The sun comes up, and it's morning, about 6 o'clock in the morning. And Celine still hasn't come back.
Well,
Now we
fuck her.
begin to worry.
All right. We
I love how
check-
Arthur and Daruk just completely swapped opinions.
Wait, are we hot on this now? I thought we were over it.
We check the jailhouses. We check bars. We check outside of bars and their back alleys.
The
Where
whole
else?
We'll
time.
find out.
I guess we check a graveyard.
just
Oh, is the cat still here when we wake up?
oh, good question.
No, the cat is not there when you wake up.
Classic.
I think when we all meet up, Daruk is like, I think Celine slipped out the window. The cat said it was open when they got here.
The individual at the front door said that they had walked out on their own around sometime between 3 and 4, which aligns with the bartender's story of showing up at 4 and having it happen beforehand. Perhaps they tried climbing out the window and just changed their mind. Maybe the cat was a liar. They
The
did in
cat
fact
couldn't
sneak,
lie.
They did in fact
The cat
sneak
couldn't
into
lie.
your room.
I think
Yes,
I
but
just
Arthur
woke
made it.
up.
Arthur forced it to tell the truth.
What's this about a cat?
Oh, a cat broke into Arthur and Celine's room last night and paid me rent for the bed. Who paid for the bed last night again? It was you, Arthur, right? Here you go.
Yeah, but it was with your money. You can hang on to that.
We'll
Okay.
we'll organize a party fun next time as we get things under our feet. Oh, goodness gracious.
Go. I should have let that go.
All right.
Daruk
I
doesn't
don't know
remember.
this town.
Daruk never remembers whether he paid in or not. This is
Oh,
gonna
that's
stick
true.
around.
It's your middle
Oh
flaw.
God, let's not start a tab on our first mission out together, please. Please.
Well, that's why I was trying to pay Arthur back.
All
He's
right,
like,
listen,
I'm gonna have
yeah.
character growth. I'm gonna pay for my things.
My character growth is
Retire.
not being broke and paying for my things.
As you kind of
Basic
start to
finance.
wake up, you smell from downstairs what smells like a full dwarven. It's beans, eggs, toast, sausages, puddings, ale, of course, potatoes, tomatoes, cheese. You could smell all of the delicious things from breakfast from downstairs.
Fiora looks at Loki.
As soon as the smell hits, Daruk's gone. You've
We
never
can
seen
eat
him
first,
move
right?
fast.
What's up, Fior?
We can eat first, right?
I mean, we didn't say I was the boss, so I'm not going to be like, oh, we have to go search for. We can eat. We're criminals.
That's right. I'm the boss in this one, so yes. We'll eat first. And
We can
Fiora's
eat,
gonna
we're
go get
criminals.
breakfast.
All right, Fiora's gonna go get breakfast. Daruk already took off like a bat out of hell because delicious food smell. Arthur doesn't eat, but probably
Jordan.
ambles around.
Yeah.
When everyone else comes down, you see that Daruk has pulled 2 additional gold out of his pouch and is trying to negotiate with the bartender, whoever's in charge of ordering of like the food and stuff. How much will it take? How much do I have to pay you for you to just continuously feed me until I'm done?
Well, it's 2 silver a plate, and the plates are this big, and she holds up like this, like metal platter that's got, you know, beans on toast, fried potatoes, sausage, eggs, all of the stuff on it. So it's like a decent sized platter. Like it's like a hungry man. It would fill a grown man, but Daruk probably needs like 8 of those. So they're 2 silvers a piece.
Yeah, ogrish are described as having a detrimental effect to the local ecology when they eat as much as they want. Daruk hands them 3 gold to sit down and eat.
Good Lord. Yeah, so you get all of that food brought to you. And, you know, he's sitting at the table. There's a few other people around. Looks like the people who were sleeping in their rooms upstairs has come down. Nobody really looks of note, just, you know, common folk, travelers, traders, dwarves on pilgrimage, whatever. You know, nothing too outstanding. But the gentleman that you spoke to, Loki, is not there, and the 2 soldiers are also gone. The only thing that's the same is the barkeep.
Let's let him go.
I guess we'll have to grab a table adjacent to Daruk, considering their 15 platters will be covering the entirety of their table and likely some more.
Yes. Yes.
I will not talk to you over a foot-tall pile of sausage.
Well, no, that's why I have a full table, so I can spread it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, and each meal comes with breakfast beers, so you've got like 15 ales on the table with you as well.
I'll share those amongst the party.
That's
Fiora,
all.
drink. Go ahead, Loki.
That's all you and Fiora, Daruk. I won't be partaking.
It's just a breakfast beer. It's watered down.
I'll take the water part of the watered down beer.
Are you sure? Without the alcohol in it, it can get pretty nasty.
It's water.
Yeah, it's water from a mountain.
Do you understand how water quality works?
No,
Just smash
the
cut
mountains
to
are made
just
of mountains. Mountains are
hordes
dirt
of
and
kids
rock.
in a dungeon.
You know how many rocks they squeeze to make this water?
Yeah, exactly. That's Daruk's idea of where water comes from on a mountain peak.
I'll be all right. Thank you for your concern.
All right.
Well, if that's the case, Daruk, Fiora will drink 3 for herself and 4 for Celine, who's not here.
All right, what's your concentration modifier, Fiora?
+3.
I was just gonna start passing them out to other people at the bar.
Okay. So
you drink as many as you feel like you safely can, and then I'll get other people drunk for Celine.
Fiora will take an extra 2 for Celine, on top of her 3.
okay, so I need 2 con saves from you, Fiora. 2
Daruk
of them.
will
'Cause you
have
got
3.
Okay.
Or no, Daruk will have 5. Daruk will match Fiora.
All right,
And then
Fiora,
he'll
you don't.
pass 5 out to random bar patrons.
Okay, Fiora, you don't take any levels of drunkenness. Daruk, what's your con mod?
Same as Fiora, 3.
3. Okay, so just roll me 2 con saves.
$15
Okay.
and dirty 20.
Okay, so neither one of you take any levels of drunk.
Nice.
Yep, you needed a 12 and a 14.
Cool.
Celine would be proud.
Loki, you have water. Arthur, I don't know what you have, but whatever it is, it's all over you, making a mess.
Yeah, I think Arthur probably abstains from this one. He's a little on edge.
He's on edge? Okay. All
Love
right.
it.
So you have your breakfast. It's a full dwarven. It tastes delicious. It's one of the best breakfasts you've had in a while. Even better than the one that you had on like Celebration Day at the Wardens, which was really good too. But
This
it's
tastes
the best
just like
breakfast.
heart cooking.
Yeah. And you get through your breakfast. You probably have breakfast about an hour long. It's about 6:15 when you come down. So it's probably about 7:15 by the time everybody finishes breakfast up. You clean up your table. You know, you act like you have some sort of manners, even though you're a bunch of criminals. And it's about 7:15. Where do you go?
I mean, I think probably to the local jail first.
To the local jail first? Okay.
I low-key at the right places.
All right.
Jails,
So you
bars,
head up.
alleys.
Our local like guardsman's office or whatever, because we need to
Yeah.
talk to them about this bone trader shit anyway.
So this way this town is, it's tiered, right? So it's like the second tier, the castle part's at the top, and so it's like the second tier right under the one right under the castle. So you have to go up a couple. And
Okay.
it's looks like the jurisdiction, not the jurisdiction, but like the businesses and offices and
Districts.
yeah, sort of like that. Like local offices and such are there. It's like I would say the financial district, but not necessarily that, like a business district. Does that make sense? I don't know how to
It's the
explain it, but
district
anyway.
for like aristocrats and traders and noblemen and things like that.
Yes.
People
yes.
who aren't quite royalty.
Yes. There you go. Like the aristocratic section of town. You can clearly see as you've come up, like the farther closer to you get to the castle, the nicer the tiers of the town get. Like where you first started at the Screaming Goat was like the barrel. It was like the bottom of the bottom, the closest part for people to get into, it doesn't require a lot of money to stay there. And then kind of as you go up, it gets more expensive and so on.
Yeah. As we're walking and talking to Rooks, since he's been here before, he's like pointing out monuments and stuff. And I have to tell you, this is one of my favorite cities in the Burok Empire, and I hate it.
Okay.
That's what's aggressive for you. I thought you didn't hate anything.
I don't hate anyone. Would be a better way to put it, I suppose. But this empire. You can see here that this is the only place in the Burok Empire that is true to the core of it. They've divided their people into segments, just like everywhere else. Here, they just don't lie about it.
I see. So you like the city, not the empire. That makes sense.
So jail.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can find the guard shack. You can find the guard, like the guard house and such. It's much bigger than like the guard shack at the bottom of the town and so on. It's where they would have the cells and so on. You can go right in through the front door to the table there, where the door attendant, whatever the fuck you call the person who attends the door at the jail, where that person is, and you could talk to him and ask about Celine.
Talk to the desk officer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, we're looking for a compatriot of ours who we believe may have engaged in a bit of drunken debauchery last night.
Name, please.
Celine, or my name or the potential inmate.
Potential inmate.
Celine.
And she'll flip through, her little notebook and see nobody here by that name.
All right. She's also not very cooperative. She may have given a fake name. Would I be able to give you a description?
Sure.
About 6 foot-ish, black hair with a long white streak and almost a deathly pallor, deep dark eyes that attempt to draw you in, that you may be distracted while she plunges a blade into your sternum.
She flips back through her notes. Nobody by that description either.
All right, thank you for your service.
Well, before we
I'm
go,
sure you don't get.
shouldn't we-
I'm sure you don't get enough appreciation for just working the desk, do you?
She just kind of blinks at you.
Not paid very well either. I'm sure. Not. I bet it's the justification of, oh well, they're out there risking their lives against the criminals, and you're in here safe. The safety isn't worth as much, is it?
I like my job just fine. Thank you.
Oh, well, I'm very happy to hear that. And do you take tips?
No, it's against our policy. Thank you.
What? All right.
Hey, Daruk, excuse me, miss. We're also here on Grey Warden business. We were dispatched to look into the business with the bone trader, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. One moment. And she gets up from her desk, walks to the back, and then she comes back out with somebody who's dressed in more captainly attire. Yes, you're
Also
working
mine.
on the bone trader. What can I do for you?
We just wanted any information you might have before we go out into the mountains to look for him and deal with it.
Sure,
Any
but first
known
you present me
methods of
your
abduction?
paperwork.
Here you are. Any known methods of abduction would be very helpful.
Sure. I'm Captain Goldstone, by the way. Nice to meet you. Follow me to my office. And he takes your paperwork and starts kind of like looking through it, seeing what it, what it says, making sure it's like a valid work order, essentially, and so on.
Yeah. This a dwarven guy?
Yep.
Cool.
So the information that he gives you is pretty close. After he checks your paperwork and gives it back, tells you everything's valid, he sits down at his desk and pulls out a file labeled Bone Trader, and he flips through it. He gives you pretty similar info to what Bob gave you. Bib Krug has ordered the Favelan to collect bones from living humans or dwarves or gnomes or people kind living in nearby villages. They've asked you to help deal with it because there has been Favelan spotted in the area. There's been somebody close to the leader of this area. I think he's a duke, if I'm not mistaken. The duke's archduke, I think. His son has been taken, but he reminds you to keep that part quiet. They don't want anybody to know. And that there has been told that there is a ruined cottage nearby where he's built his estate into the stone that could possibly hold some significance. And that's pretty much what he tells you. Same as Bob, really.
Well, the cottage is new info, so that's good.
Yes, we knew he had a lair in the mountains, but we did not know that he had a building above it.
It's not necessarily above it, but on the path, we've been told, for where it goes into the...
I understand. Well, thank you for your service, I'm Vic Goldstone. It's been very helpful.
Thank you, and best of luck with you. May the stone bless your travels.
May the rocks remain firm beneath your feet.
Rock and stone.
He does like a forearm brace with you, Daru, because you've been extremely formal. He'll do like a dwarven forearm brace with you and shake your hand.
And if there are any other matters for which you or your allies need assistance or advice, this is where you can send a raven to me. And I'm going to leave him with my home raven address, I guess.
Okay. So like to the rookery that's near where you live.
Yes.
Sure. And there is a rookery at your at where the wardens are as well.
Cool. In that case, maybe I'll have him address it there.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so that's the information.
We will be staying at the Heartstone if any relevant information comes up.
Okay, thank you. Good luck to you. Be safe.
Oh, and be warned. I know it's an insular community. Some of the inquisitors from the south, the more hard-headed ones, have shown up in town. Thought we should know in case there are any incidents ahead of time.
The guards from the lower gate had sent up that information.
Be well, friend.
You will.
He won't.
All right, so that was a dead end for Celine. I guess we go check the bars next, or the alleys around them, anyways.
I think that's a good idea. I worry that we will spend so much time searching for Celine that our quarry will have time to search out a new target. We came into this mission knowing we might lose people. If we lose them to a matter other than violence, I think that's not as big of a loss.
Definitely didn't think it would be just like literally losing them, but fair.
Well, and from what Loki said, Celine left all of her things behind. She's likely to come back.
It's true. We do have a job to do.
I think we checked these places on our way out. I mean, we got to go down to the lower tiers anyways. I doubt she'd have come up this far anyways.
Yes, I agree. I don't think it's a bad idea to swing by them. I just think if we don't find her in a place we expect her to be, it might be time to get a little bit of work done.
Maybe she just went on ahead, scope out the area while we were sleeping.
No,
it does
their horse will be gone then.
It does seem the sort of bullheaded strategy she'd come up with. Rush ahead and solve the problems. Well intentioned, of course, but maybe not well thought out.
Fair enough then.
Okay. So there's 3 taverns. You've been to 2 of them, and the third one is in the district that you're in. But it's more of an exclusive kind of club. It's closed to dwarves and gnomes only, and they do have like a sort of bodyguard out front.
All right, before we approach, I have a thought of leveraging the fact that my family name is the same as the title of another inn, perhaps convincing them that their counterpart wishes to join with them in business would be a way to get entry. This place is a bit exclusive, and none of us quite match the profile.
I mean, think about it. If it's that exclusive, how do you think Celine got in?
Oh, you know what? Very good idea. Never mind. Just check the alleys around it, perhaps, in case they rebuffed her and she caused a problem.
Yeah, so you can walk around like the sort of alleyways. The alleyways are pretty well hidden behind like lampposts and decorative boxes of plants and such, to kind of keep this, aristocratic area looking aristocratic. But you could make your way around to the alley that is behind where their sort of trash bins and such are. You can go ahead and roll an investigation, see if you find any, or survival. I'll give you survival because I know some of you are good at tracking.
I'll do the survival, sure.
Okay. And you can roll investigation as well. Anybody you guys are all together, you can all roll if you'd like. I don't care.
Pure will help.
Someone
She should not roll herself.
I was going to say, does someone want to help me? Someone want to help Loki?
Yeah, I'll give somebody the help action.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do we want to split it up? Who's working with who?
I'll help Loki.
Arthur got me a 19.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
And Daruk?
You and me looking for her tracks.
Okay. What do you got? Let's see.
Waiting for it to finish here.
18. Okay. All right, so I'll just use this same roll for all 3 of the taverns that you plan on checking, and for your survival, so for just looking for her tracks or anything along the lines. In this alley, you don't find anything. You don't find any tracks, nothing of the sort. You leave the district, you head back down to yours, You look around. You do find Celine's tracks, obviously leading out of the tavern into the street. You don't find
Okay, so
anything around.
we can see that she walked out of the tavern.
Yes.
Okay, important detail. Means that
Yep.
cleric
You can.
or that grave guy wasn't lying to us and kidnapped themselves.
Yep. You can it's a dusty kind of area. You're in the mountains, pine needles and such float around. You can you can see you're able to discern her boot marks differently. You've traveled with her enough, you pay attention enough, you figure out that it's hers. They lead into the street, and it looks like they head down towards one of the lower districts. So you follow them, you go down, you see them towards where you had come out of the tavern. You do a double check around the tavern, you don't see anything. It seems like her tracks continue to lead out of the area that you're in, out into the mountains.
Out of Stellenwald into the mountain. Okay. Well, do they look like they're heading in the direction that we think we need to go? Vaguely?
Yeah, vaguely.
Well, she's the bone trader.
I was going to say, I think it seems like she went to investigate ahead of time, but she could have been the bone trader. She was with us when some children were getting stolen.
Without equipment, though.
That is odd.
I mean, she took all her normal equipment. She just left her overnight stuff, right? She had her weapons. What else did she? Listen, it's Celine. She didn't think she'd need food out here. She brought her weapons, and that's it, probably.
Doesn't she not eat? Unless she wishes to.
That's a fair point. So,
well, I'm sure we're going to run into her at some point. Why don't we just do what we're here to do, and what may come.
Let's go kill a demon.
What are the odds that the bone trader was that mysterious song you heard in the middle of the night, pursuing Arthur, perceiving them as a child, and ended up getting Celine?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Daruk, you said something about, you mentioned enchantings being woven into songs. It could be that. It didn't have any effect on me, but
it's just a theory.
I also don't have any bones.
Can you roll to see what about the bone trader? I'm sorry.
Just make an intelligence check, since I don't think any of us have yet, to see if I know anything about bone traders.
About the bone trader. He is the only one.
It's not a profession?
No one else has traded a bone before in these lands.
No,
emerging industry.
The way everyone's been saying it, I thought maybe it was like a type of being, and then this is the example that we have currently.
No, he is
It's a side hustle, like driving an Uber. Yeah, trade bones afterwards.
I made 20 gold off my bones yesterday, but I hardly made feed for my cattle, so.
Then yeah, never mind. If he's not a type of being, ignore that.
Oh, look at this lovely path.
What about those? What were they? The Favelin that we heard were his
Favelin.
allies?
Yep, the Favelin.
Right.
I'm probably saying that right.
Does anybody
or wrong?
know those? I think you are.
I could try a general history.
Does anybody
check.
know anything about Favelin?
Well, the bartender's brother told us a little bit about them, that they're like little goblinoid thingies with upside down smiles, and apparently they work for the bone trader. They captured one here.
Yeah, can I make a nature check about that? See, why goblins might have upside down heads?
More of maybe like a history check to see if you've heard of them before. Aside from, like I did say, everybody's heard sort of like bedtime stories about it and such. I don't like how that's fuzzy. I don't know why it's like that.
I don't know about anyone else, but I'm not seeing the map you're sharing.
Oh,
it's because she has it on. It's because she has it on the end screen only.
Okay.
Can you see it now?
Yep.
It's loading, so I
Give it a
think
second
so.
to
Yeah.
update, and then, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
why are we on this path out of all of a sudden? We were just in the bar. What
My
happened?
bones. Are my bones all right?
Well, I mean, Arthur or Loki, if you're worried about the song, Arthur, do you remember any of it?
Oh, God. Do I? Should I roll a, could I roll a history check on that?
Sure.
All right. That's a 17
Mine was
plus
a wild
4.
shot because they have Fae in the
21.
name, and I was like, I might know fairy stuff.
Yeah, it's Favelin, I think. It's Faevlin, Favelin.
That was a 21 for
Yeah, it's Favelin.
remembering the song.
Yeah, you remember it. It's that haunting kind of womanly voice. Do you need me to play it again? I could play it for you.
Oh, I know the song, and I think it's pinned in Grimhollow, is it not?
It might be, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it is.
I have a question.
It is.
Fiora grew
The
up on
lyrics
the
are in the
ocean.
pins in our Discord.
Would this be something that might be like a sea shanty or sang near the shores? Would she have heard this?
Ooh, good question. Roll me a flat D20.
Seven, so probably not.
One time when you were first starting out on ships and such, you had a passenger who usually the ship you were on didn't carry passengers, but she paid a large sum of money to be a passenger on your ship. She was a young woman with long, dark hair. She was very gaunt looking, eyes sort of sunken in, so on and so forth. And you briefly remember, as Arthur kind of recalls the words, hearing that song one time, Fiora.
And Arthur recalls that song by unhinging his jaw like a cobra, and just the sound comes spilling out.
You see the audio box vibrating.
There's clicking. And yeah.
I mean, I think I've heard the song before, so I don't. It's certainly possible they used magic, but
It was more a theory than anything. And it may be something to be mindful for. If a song can lure any being, let alone children versus Celine, who knows how it could be used in a more direct combat way, considering we are coming in prepared for a fight. Last thing we need is any or all of us falling prey to it.
aye, that's fair. So keep your ears closed, I guess.
Fiora, I will
She's
say
a
that
witch
you've heard the song, but you don't believe it's in any connection to the Favelin and the Bone Trader.
That was kind of what she was getting at, is that like I heard a random person sing this miles away on a boat. I don't think it's necessarily connected. It's possible, but
Tis a theory. Tis but a theory.
I agree. I mean, should always be wary of strange magics.
Damn, I had a perfect opportunity to make a music theory joke there, and I missed it. Made one of my own.
So you kind of follow the tracks and head towards where like Celine's tracks head, and you find yourself on a path, which you were told that it was like towards the east or whatever. But as you kind of start to like move along the path, are you still actively looking and tracking Celine, or no?
I think Daruk is trying to see or is just keeping an eye on Celine's tracks, trying to see if they join up with anything else or anything. Or
They
if
actually
disappear
leave
at some
the
point.
footpath. They do. They leave the footpath.
Oh,
Right about, let's see if I can ping. Right about here. Oh, hold on. How do I ping? Oh, there we go. Right about there.
Does that
You
line
did.
up with where we think we're going?
No.
That heads toward the cliff.
Oh God!
It heads off.
like the tracks continue off the cliff.
They head right direct towards the cliff. Maybe walk up there and look.
Sure. Before we do, I'm going to reach over and tap Arthur and catch Hunter Senses cantrip. Arthur, you can't roll below a 10 on a perception check.
Ooh, nice. I'm gonna guide myself after that and goose it even more.
All right. Sure.
Can I roll a beefy perception check then?
You can. Probably.
I mean, what are you looking for?
Beef. I
I'm
don't
just
know.
kind of looking up
Beef.
ahead to see if there's anything like lying in wait.
Yeah, I
See if
mean,
something's lying in wait to jump us.
I want to look over the cliff where the tracks lead and just see if any signs of her or anything out of place. All right.
Sure.
Okay, it's another 17 on the die plus 5. Oh, plus my D4 for guidance, which is a 1. So it's an 18 plus 5 for a 23.
Okay. So you walk over to the cliff's edge and you look down and you see cut into the cliff face there is a set of like stone hewn stairs. It's a very narrow path. Probably, a goat could get down it or one person at a time. Daruk, you'd probably struggle, but it leads down probably about 60 foot to a small cliffside rocky sort of outcropping where there's a little cottage. And you can see, Daruk, while you're looking, you can see Celine's footprints kind of go down this dusty set of stairs. And it's only one set and they go down.
Okay. About how far down does it look like this staircase leads?
60 foot.
Cool. I would love to take my 2 pieces of rope and tie them together and hammer a pipe in, since I don't think I'm going to fit down this staircase.
Okay. Yeah, you would probably struggle, but Fiora and Arthur for sure could walk down it. Loki, it would be, kind of a nimble thing for you to navigate because you're pretty decently sized as well. But you're also roguey, so you could probably nimbly or acrobatically navigate it. But Daruk, you're the only one that's really going to have a problem.
Yeah. Daruk's
what
going
I'll
to try to rappel down to the street instead of climb down those stairs.
Sure. DC 16 athletics.
Daruk is about to fall off the side of a cliff.
Can we make it acrobatics?
No, it's a strength-based skill.
Oof.
For rope
So is that a plus 0?
Oh,
So I'm going to
Oh,
take
brother.
damage.
Oh, brother.
Ooh.
Oh, brother, no.
what is it, like the D6 for every 10 foot?
Can I
D6
give
every 10 feet.
Daruk my chaos coin?
I don't want it. I deserve it.
Yeah, you know it.
I don't
Hell
want it.
yeah, hell yeah.
Godspeed.
Although playing to the character incidentally does give you a chaos coin, so fuck.
I should have rolled that for
I
everybody.
mean, I got
but you'll
one
be-
for the nat 1.
Oh, true. Ooh,
That's all right. Well,
it's a lot of dice.
we can all see it on your screen anyway.
He can tank that. He's a big
Yeah,
boy.
you're going to take...
Hey,
He's a
no,
big
I
fella.
can take that. I'm not even at half.
Yeah, that's 14. 14 fall damage.
And now
And
you
Daruk-
fall down the second set of stairs in a comedic fashion.
Yeah, you look like a snow angel when you fall and like kind of land on your back. And it fucking hurts, but it could have been worse.
Yeah, there's like a Wile E. Coyote dent in the ground.
Yeah, yeah, just around Daruk's big ass body.
Holding up a sign that says "ouch."
So Fiora and Arthur, neither one of you need to roll anything. You're small enough
I'm
to be able to.
okay.
Yeah, we know.
Loki, do you want to try to go
I'm gonna
climb the
pop a
rope,
healing
or
potion.
do you want to go down the stairs?
I'm gonna stay up here. I'm gonna perch up maybe on the tree or just in the road and play watchman. because the last thing we need is to climb up this rope or these stairs with crossbows or swords pointed at us with only one way up.
Daruk, go ahead and give me a perception while you're laying there on your back. Arthur and Fiora, are you going down?
Sure thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your movement
That's
speed?
a natural 2 for a 7.
Woo!
Nice.
30.
Mine's
Hunter check on
trash.
myself with the marker.
Let me see. My movement speed is
25.
I'm pretty sure it's 20. Yeah, 25. Thank you.
Okay.
Got it.
So Fiora, it'll take you 2 rounds to get down, and Arthur, it'll take you 3.
Sweet.
Okay. And Loki, you're staying up there at the
I'm
top
gonna
to kind of keep watch.
Yep.
Just to
All right.
clarify, Hooli, after following, do I have an action, like a chance to use an action to pop a potion of healing?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So when you sit up, Daruk, and you kind of rub your head and you're fishing in your bag for a healing potion, you notice that there's a sort of mist surrounding this cottage that you didn't notice before you fell. And it's sort of right just a couple feet from where you fell is like a stone path that leads through lush, green, beautiful grass. The cottage door is propped open just a little bit. There's smoke rising from the chimney stack, and you smell fresh bacon, maple syrup, sticky buns. It just smells delicious.
Joke's on you. We
Cool.
breakfast
Let me make
before
a
we
wisdom
left.
save for Daruk quick to see if he starts floating like a cartoon character after this fall.
Daruk, what after his fall?
On
I'm
another
sorry.
nat 1. I was just joking. I was saying I'm gonna roll a wisdom save for Daruk to see if he floats up in the air following the smell.
Oh yeah, like a
so-
cartoon. Just-
Yeah, Wile E. Coyotes into the ground. Floats into the air. No, Daruk smells this and is like, he's not won over by it, but he's following his nose. He's like, something's up here.
Okay. Fiora and
I smell
Arthur,
good food.
as you make your way down, you see Daruk get up and take a couple steps and disappear from your line of sight.
Good.
Okay, I don't like
Excellent.
fear of going invisible. I'm just not able to be seen.
Yeah, well, you don't know that they can't see you.
Do I see or hear anything outside of Daruk when we get down?
When you get down, you see the cottage and you notice it's misty. It's rather misty around. Same things Daruk saw and smelled.
Well, fuck. Let's go get him, and I'll just start walking in the direction I saw Daruk disappear into.
Fiora's
Yeah,
gonna-
Loki. Fiora's going to follow or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Loki, you look down and you see not only did Daruk disappear walking towards the cottage, but so did Fiora and Arthur.
Never gonna get to be a leader again. Everyone's just going missing.
You know, I don't know how I feel about that information. I climbed up into the tree to like have an angle on both the road and down the cliff, and I look down the cliff and nobody's down the cliff anymore. It's just a cliff again.
No, and the lights or nothing looks like they're on in the cottage from up above or anything of the sort. It just looks like a little stone kind of cottage from the top.
I'm sure they'll be fine, right?
No.
You know what, Daruk? Since you had such a terrible flop when you fell, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's do that.
All right. What kind of? Should I just roll a d20? Should I make
Yeah, like a luck check.
myself?
What are we rolling for concussion?
No, if
No, we're rolling to see if I break my stick.
Oh
Oh
no!
God.
Yeah, go ahead and let's roll a luck check.
Oh Lord!
Haven't you seen Avatar, Daruk? Don't do this.
Oh,
That's another nat 2.
brother,
Rook is
Yeah.
not rolling tonight.
brother
No.
Warden.
Daruk, your quarterstaff didn't just snap into two. It's snapped into 4 different pieces, and they're not clean breaks. They're sort of like shattered a bit.
It's just unlikely. How'd you even?
It is not good. This was such a good
Yes.
stick.
Are we? So do we still see the cottage where we are, or are we just in like
Yeah.
a sea of mist and cinnamon rolls?
You
Do we see
see
Daruk?
the cottage. You do see Daruk towards the door, where the door is once you get in there. I don't think Daruk said that he went inside, just kind of followed towards the cottage. And you see lush green grass, flowers growing. There's a flower box hanging outside, some little blue jays kind of flying around, some smoke rising from the cottage. It smells delicious. The door's cracked open a little bit. The windows have like the curtains sort of drawn over it, you know, the drapery and such, but
When we catch up, if Daruk doesn't go on ahead,
No, Dirk doesn't rush ahead.
Fear's gonna say, so I'm not the only one that thinks this is weird, right?
Especially since they said this cottage was supposed to be dilapidated and abandoned.
Aye, so we should ignore it and just keep moving, right?
Or we should check it out in case it's
is it the
part of
same
our
cottage?
traitor's trap.
though?
Don't Celine's tracks go in here? Let's just see if she's in
That's a
here.
good point. Do we see Celine's track still?
Do I need to try to pick the trail up again after that fall?
Give me another survival. Yes,
Oh,
you do.
I'll give you guidance
I'll
for
guide.
that.
I'll guide myself. Oh, thank you.
Does
I'll
guidance
help.
stack?
No, guidance does not stack.
Okay. I feel like
No.
I missed that.
I didn't realize you were going to do it when I was.
Can
saying
I
it.
help look for tracks though?
Sure, you can offer the help action and still take a guidance. That does stack.
Cool. All right. So here's the initial roll. That's a natural 19. I'll use the guidance too because fuck it, why not? It's a 3 on the guidance, making it a 29 survival.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so Celine's tracks lead right into this cottage.
Wonderful. Celine's in here, or at least she was.
Well,
I
let's
guess
see
we
it.
got no choice.
I'm gonna just shout. Oh, actually, I'll send Loki a message. Is that a spell slot? Never mind. Oh no, yeah. Okay, I'll send Loki a message and just let him know we found Celine's tracks. They're going into the cottage. I'm told it smells like cinnamon rolls. See you in a bit.
And you have to cast magic to send that?
It's a
Mhm.
cantrip, yes.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Loki doesn't get the message. So you send it. You don't know that it doesn't work, but Loki, you don't
Okay.
get that message.
All right.
Okay.
Hey Arthur, can you make me louder?
Yep. Yeah, and I'll cast prestidigitation on Daruk in his voice.
I'm gonna yell, Loki. We're at the bottom, and we found Celine's tracks leading in.
No, I just sent him a message.
Come
I
down
just sent him
now.
a message.
Yeah,
Also,
so
you
you
didn't
do
sound-
that.
Okay, I thought she said you could help us spell.
I just don't know it didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys don't know it didn't work, but Loki doesn't get the message. And if you do the thing where Daruk makes a big voice,
No,
Loki
I think
doesn't
if,
hear
if Arthur doesn't know that the message didn't go off, Daruk's not gonna yell.
Arthur doesn't realize. Like, he does the thing, he does the magic.
Yeah. No,
But-
I told him. It's fine. I told him. Let's just go in there. He knows.
He knows.
He's fine. What do you not
He'll
trust
catch
him?
up.
Do you not trust
He'll catch
me?
up.
Yeah, ketchup mustard.
And I'm gonna push open the front door.
Yeah, Fear takes a deep breath and follows.
Yeah, so the front door gets pushed open, and there's an older woman sitting in the corner in front of a spindle. Looks like she's sort of spinning, fibers. And there's a huge weaving loom in the other corner. It's got a small fire going, and the hearth. There's a pot sort of hanging over it, and there's a table. And on the table in that sort of front room is a breakfast spread. It's got sticky buns. It's got flapjacks with maple syrup. It's got chicken apple breakfast sausage. It's got fresh orange juice. And there are 2 doors at the back of the cottage, which you could assume maybe might lead into a bedroom or a bathroom. But you don't see Celine. You just see the older woman.
Can you stop describing the best
Pardon me,
food?
ma'am.
I haven't eaten anything today. It sounds amazing.
Pardon me, ma'am. Sorry to disturb you.
Yes, what can I do for you?
We're looking around for a friend of ours and noticed that her footprints led into your home. Is she still here?
Oh, yes, lovely girl. She came in for a meal.
Are you sure we're talking about the same person?
Yes, we must be mistaken. Must have followed the wrong footprints if she was lovely. My bad. Someone else must have the same boots.
My bad. Are you sure this person wasn't maybe extremely terse and generally frightening?
And generally unkind.
Oh, no, I've only had one visitor, and she was a lovely young woman. She had
Could you
breakfast
Could you
with
describe
me
your
and
visitor?
everything.
She doesn't eat.
She
Could you
could.
You
describe
notice-
your visitor for us?
The woman doesn't turn around and look at you. She just keeps spinning, you notice.
Yeah, can I
Oh.
get a look at this woman's eyes? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead. If you want to get a look at her eyes, if you want to get closer.
I'm
Come
gonna
closer.
try to keep my distance, but just kind of edge around the corner of the room and kind of. I want to see if I can see if this woman's blind or not.
Do I fit through this door?
Milky. Yes, you fit through the door. You have to duck down a little bit, but it's kind of like Hagrid's hut. You know, you could fit.
Gotcha.
You peer around, Arthur, and she has milky white eyes.
Yeah, Arthur will throw up just a gesture of frustration since he knows he won't be offending anybody. And all right, ma'am, we're with the Grey Wardens, and we're looking for a friend of ours. It doesn't not sound like the person you had breakfast with, but just in case, did they mention where they might be going?
Oh, well, she didn't really say where she was going. It was just nice to have company. It has been so long.
But she did leave.
Well, yes, of course she left. She's not here.
On that 29, did I see tracks leading out of this cottage?
You did not.
Any tracks at all, ever, leading out of this cottage?
No, and like Celine's weren't boot prints. You were just able to track her scent, really.
Okay, gotcha.
Could I insight check her saying that she left or she's not here, whatever she just said? She's not here.
Sure. You could certainly try.
I'll reach over and tap Arthur with a guidance now that I know this lady can't see us.
Ooh, Arthur shivers involuntarily. Ooh. 12 on the die. What is this? Insight. Plus 7 for a 19, plus a guided D4, which is another 1. So it's a 20, not net.
She takes a deep breath, and you can hear sniffing the air. Oh, using magic in my home.
Oh,
It's been so long since I've used any magic. Come have breakfast with me.
Can I make an insight check now myself about this lady saying she doesn't use magic anymore, or hasn't in a long time?
You sure could insight if you wanted to.
I
also,
would
sorry.
love
Did I miss? Did I get the truth of whether or not?
I hadn't told
that. Oh
you
yeah,
that.
she's
Okay.
yeah. She's going to
But
give us
go
the
ahead.
result of that, I'm sure, when it's most dramatic.
Yeah, go ahead and roll, Daruk.
Okay.
You can insight.
And you know what? She doesn't seem upset about magic. I'll go ahead and re-guide myself. I'm glad I did that because I'm going to need that extra D4 probably. That's a dirty 20.
Nice.
And when you cast your guidance, she takes another breath like, oh, the smell of magic. It's so delicious to me.
Oh,
I
that's
don't-
gross, lady.
The
Quite-
door
I've
to the
never-
cottage slams shut behind you.
At that, Fiora speaks up and says, "Listen, you old crone, we're just looking for our friend. So
Roll
just tell us
me-
which way she went."
Wisdom saving throws at disadvantage. All three of you.
Oh,
I'm gonna
three?
guide.
No.
No, guidance is skill checks, not saves, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's blessed with saves.
Oh.
11.
Is this against the charm?
It is a charm, yes.
Cool. Advantage then from takes one to no one.
So it's
I-
flat for you because it's at
Oh,
disadvantage.
yeah, my
so
bad. I'll re-roll that flat. My bad.
well, your
That's a
first one's a
9.
1.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yep.
The orange is in here. Yep. All right. So that
Yeah.
one.
Fiora got a 9. What do
That's
you?
correct, because mine also would have been my first one.
Yep. So you got a 9 also, Arthur.
Yes.
Okay. So the door slams shut behind you. You feel in your mind this sort of hand. It feels cold. It feels like iron. It's like icy cold, like iron, as it kind of wraps around your mind and reaches into the darkest point of your mind, the thing that has been the darkest moment in your life, whether it was the death of a loved one or, you know, getting arrested or so on and so forth. It is reaches into the darkest moment of your life and existence. Arthur, even as a wooden boy, you still have dark times and such.
A wooden
And-
man.
When she does this, she sort of spins around and her milky eyes have sort of changed to this dark black pit of eyes, and she has this horrible toothy grin. And each one of you is going to take some psychic damage here in just a minute, but you're reliving the most awful points, and I want to know what each of those are while I roll your damage here for you.
Anyone want to go first?
Not at all. Should we roll for it?
We can roll for it.
Lois goes first.
I'll roll for it.
D20.
Sure.
Yeah, I got a
Probably
6.
gonna be me at this rate. That's a nat 5.
Oh fuck yes.
That's funny because I also got a 6.
Ah. All right, so you and me go one more time. That's an 11 for me.
Seven, so it'll
All right.
be Daruk, Fiora.
I guess it's the roof.
And it is 35 psychic damage.
Oh my god. Okay.
You failed.
I'm
Only
so
had-
glad I took that potion of healing because I have 1 hit point left.
Fiora is also G-stringed.
Arthur's down.
I like it.
Loki's just having the
I-
casual sandwich.
I like it.
Loki's getting the faintest smells of cinnamon roll.
Daruk's vision blacks over, and moments later, he hears the breaking of tree limbs, the sounds of barking dogs behind him, the clip clop of horses' hooves as he feels a hand holding his own as he rushes through the dark forest, unable to see. And you can hear shouts of, "Stop them! Chase them down! They've gone this way!" from behind him. And then For just a second, a little bit of starlight manages to break through the trees, and we see illuminated on just one side in profile a blonde man, brown eyes, about 6'1", grasping Daruk's hand, bleeding from both sides, where he has been lacerated by arrows. As he lets go of Daruk's hand and falls, one more arrow pierces the back of his leg. Keep running! Keep running! She needs one of us. And we flash out as Daruk watches his husband drop to the ground and tell him to continue to run from the Inquisition so that he can raise their child.
All right, give me just 1 minute. I'll get to the rest of you in a second. We're going to do a pause. I have to pee so bad. I will be right back.
Well, we can't talk about that. That was so much.
Oh, you can talk about that. I'll talk to you guys about it.
Ooh, I don't know how much you're willing to divulge here. I'm trying to play my backstory a little close to the chest myself, but
I mean, I if I don't want to divulge, I'm just going to say, watch future episodes.
Okay, fair.
You pulled the Brandon Sanderson RAFO. Read and find out.
I need to. I am way behind.
Oh, on Mike Sanderson?
Yeah. I read the first book of the Stormlight Archive, and then I read Mistborn, and I just stopped. Highly recommend, if there's anyone out there still watching, highly recommend everything that man has
everything he writes.
Unreal. Didn't he like crank out like a crazy number of books during the pandemic just because he had nothing better to do?
So he puts out 2 books a year, and while maintaining that, he secretly had written 4 other novels that he decided to do a Kickstarter for to publish on the side on top of those. And within 24 hours had the most successful Kickstarter in history.
What the fuck? This man's family hasn't seen him in decades.
It was insane. I actually did the Kickstarter for the audio stuff. But yeah, he's insane and everything is amazing.
The Way of Kings is one of the best books I've ever read. Had an absolute blast cover to cover.
I guess I'll say a disclaimer. He's honestly ruined a lot of fantasy for me. It's hard to read other fantasy.
He's excellent. I practically snorted Mistborn off of the page. It was excellent.
I worked in a call center for years, so when I discovered him, I started with Way of Kings and read what was out of Stormlight, and then just everything else from there on out. But our DM's back.
Yes.
Okay. Daruk, you did yours. Who was next?
Fiora.
All right, Fiora. What is it?
Who probably the first thing when it starts is the cacophony of a battle on sea, explosions, battle cries. And one of her friends and crewmates, her quartermaster, actually turns and mutters a spell, and she disappears from the midst of battle with all of her friends, and finds herself in a very dark place, and these very dark, shadowy, fiery creatures start leaping out at her before one comes down and fends them off, and in a very raspy, guttural voice just says, "You shouldn't be here yet." And she comes to coughing up water on the shores of Lysek, not far from the docks, where she recomposes herself and wanders over to the docks, looking to find out what happened after she had left the battle. And before she even gets into the city, there, along the post entering into the city, her entire crew hanging and lifeless.
Wild. Arthur, what is it that torments Arthur to death?
I regret going last now. Those are both so good. I think that you would see kind of a POV from Arthur's point of view, and you wouldn't really be able to hear much. It would sound muffled, like an anxiety attack. and you would see him looking down at his feet and a pile of sticks around his feet. And you can almost hear something in the background, like chanting or yelling or some sort of dull roar. And eventually, kind of begrudgingly, you see him bend down and grab one of those sticks, and you see his field of vision move over as he holds it into a fire that was just out of view before, and then brings it back in front of himself. And then the sound starts opening up more, and you can hear a little bit more of what's going on around him. And you can hear some of Arthur's inner monologue as well, which is just frantic praying to Morael for intervention with no answer. The other thing you hear is a woman's voice screaming and laughing at him and cursing him and spitting on him and sobbing and begging. And then Arthur's head would turn and you would see a hand on his shoulder, an old gnarled hand with a lot of gaudy rings on it. And you would hear, "Go on now, boy." And then Arthur's field of vision would lift up as he picks up the burning stick, and you see him set a pyre on fire with a beautiful dark-haired woman tied to it. And then you would see a small pile of that woman's belongings nearby the pyre, and on top of it is a beautiful, well-made purple and white book.
All right. So each of you kind of experiences something different as this happens. Loki, you have no idea any of this is going on. None of you kind of realize what's going on as you're trapped in your trauma. Arthur, you kind of crumple to the ground from this. And Daruk and Fiora, it's not necessarily that you crumple, but both of you kind of end up sitting on the floor, maybe having your head stuck between your legs, holding your head, crying or such, but you really don't realize what's going on, because to you, you feel like you are in what's happening. And in the background, the older woman says, "Yes, you taste just as delicious as your friend did." And that's where we're going to cut it for this week.
Oh my God.
As Daruk sits on the
It's all up to
floor,
Loki now.
Over and
Yeah,
over.
Save us,
Well,
Loki. You're our only hope.
I guess no one else show up next week. It'll just be me.
Enjoy finding a new party.
I'm just up there in the tree. I'm like, keeping myself like passively aware of what's going on. I'm working in my journal, like deciphering a song or something.
I also feel like the end credits for this episode is just the lights coming up on a dungeon packed with kids. And just someone goes, "Think anybody's coming?"
I guess you'll find out next week. Loki, give me a perception check before we call it, though.
Sure, why not?
Perception check.
That's not my character sheet. 15.
All right. So as you're kind of sitting there, kind of waiting and looking around and so on and so forth, you hear a song play. Well, someone singing a song.
There were two sisters, they went playing to see their father's ships come sailing.